All right. I want to welcome everybody back to a little town just outside of Agropoli, Italy. This is part 2 of my cortisol series. And if you did not watch the first one, I'll do a little quick recap right now for you, but I highly recommend that you just go and watch the first one so you can kind of get a backstory and parallel it with your own. But the basic premise here is that it doesn't matter how healthy you are. It doesn't matter how young you are. Okay, you can very, very easily outwork yourself into any stage of adrenal fatigue. Okay, you can outstress yourself. Doesn't matter how much sleep you get, how healthy you eat, how much exercise you get. I mean, at the point that I was at back in 2021, even exercise would leave me more tired. I know that that sounds kind of backwards, and it is, but that was when I started to realize, like, man, I'm in some serious trouble here, because typically I would exercise and I would feel great, feel energized for the rest of the day. And I got down to, just doing a couple sets of 10 on a back squat with like 135, and I would wake up the next day and just not feel right, just the type of fatigue, like right down to your bones, even. So, long story short, from the last video, I worked a lot of hours as a graduate assistant strength and conditioning coach. And then when I graduated with my master's at the University of Hawaii, I went into the workforce and I worked even more. I realized that as an entrepreneur, the more you work, the more money you made. And it was quite fun. I loved what I did. I was very good at what I did. But when I was younger, there were a lot of stepping stones. There was a lot of times where I had like 2 to 3 months off, and then I would go into another big project. I had 2 and 3 months off. I would go into another big project. And it was those short 2 or 3 month waiting periods when I was kind of pivoting in my business, where I would recover because I wasn't working as much. And then I would go into overworking and overstressing and things like that. That was up until around 2016. I became a full-time, the full-time go-to massage therapist in South Florida. And I was working with a lot of professional athletes, a lot of prominent people in the South Florida, Miami area. I was traveling the gyms. I would get to a gym at 2 o'clock, maybe even noon, something like that. And I would work till 8, 9 o'clock at night straight. I would have one appointment every hour straight. And I was doing that quite frequently. Felt great, felt fantastic doing it. And then it took me about 5, 6 years of that 40 to 44 hours a week of massage in conjunction with training in the style of CrossFit 5 times a week as well, doing the hardest WODs possible. You name it: running, jumping, rowing, skiing, biking, cleans, snatches, handstand push-ups, ring muscle-ups, bar muscle-ups, you name it. And there became a point where I peaked, everything was great, and then all of a sudden I got into like this weird gray area where my sleep started to suffer. And it didn't just suffer a little bit. It went from, okay, that was weird, why did I wake up and not sleep that night, to all of a sudden I was kind of in like full-blown insomnia. And two things would happen: either I would fall asleep around 9, dead tired, and wake up at 11, and I wouldn't be able to fall asleep at all. Alarm would go off at 5:30. Or I wouldn't be able to fall asleep at all, and then I would fall asleep at like 4 a.m. And then the alarm would go off at 5:30, and I would have to get up for the day. So in between all of this happening, one of the things that I left out in the last video was I started to have a lot of problems with my gut, which I usually never had. I could digest a tank. I could eat a whole box of BBs, and they would come out as poop on the other end. And all of a sudden, I noticed that when I would consume anything that had chocolate in it, I wouldn't be able to sleep. Like it would feel like I just had 6 espressos. I would lay in bed, my heart would be racing, I would be wide awake. I'm like, what the hell is going on here? There was one time when I ended up having tomatoes. I had some like pasta dish, and I think I went into almost full on anaphylactic shock. I got just so incredibly tired, dizzy, like I couldn't hold myself up. My skin was turning whiter than white. I mean, like ghost white. I was pale, like no color at all. And I'm trying to figure out what's going on. And I start Googling the symptoms while I'm laying in bed. And I'm like, how am I getting a tomato allergy? Like, this is really weird. Any type of carbohydrates. Oh my gosh, man. The stomach distension, the gas that I would have, all the bloating, everything, you name it. It was terrible. And this is what cortisol does. It's literally like swallowing 100 knives, and it is going to separate the intestinal villi and make it very, very permeable. And you start getting a lot of undigested food into the serum. And this is what creates autoimmune diseases, things like lupus, etc. So I was having a lot of those problems as well. And like I said, I really can't emphasize the fatigue, man. The fatigue was just second to none. I remember waking up in the morning and just being like, how am I going to work today? I have no idea. And I did. I went and just like a bowling ball or like a wrecking ball. It didn't matter how many appointments that I had or what was in my way. I would go ahead and get through it, just by sheer will. I had a family, and I needed to keep the roof over our head and food in our mouth, etc. So that's what I did. Looking back on it, I wish I knew what I know today, and everything that I'm going to share with you guys in this video and the videos leading up is going to be hopefully kind of my gift back to humanity, where if you're feeling like this, if you're going through these things, don't go to the doctor, okay? Because they think that adrenal insufficiency or adrenal fatigue is a myth, all right? I don't even know what they would prescribe for something like that. Maybe they would just say, stop drinking coffee or rest, which is, two very key components. But what I'm going to share with you guys in today's video and the other videos moving forward is there's a lot of other things that you can do right now that's going to accelerate your healing, because typically when you get into the adrenal stages 1, 2, and then especially 3, where you're almost like completely kaput, there are a lot of things that you can do to speed up the healing of the adrenals, the thyroid, the liver, the gallbladder, and then also your intestines. And I'm going to share them piece by piece over the over the next few videos. So in this video, there's 2 key aspects that we need to understand and start to fix. Okay, the first one is we have to start to support the adrenal glands. And the way that you're going to do that is by going to NutriMeds and getting their adrenal complex that they have. It's second to none. It's the absolute best. I have no affiliation with them. I'm not even going to put an affiliate link, okay? Like I said, I just want to help people that are having problems with this condition. So if there's other things that you need, that you want to contact me to help you, then sure, go ahead and contact me, and we can make an arrangement for whatever my services will cost for that particular issue. But go to NutriMeds and get the adrenal complex and the desiccated adrenal, okay? I'm sorry, the adrenal cortex, the desiccated adrenal cortex and the desiccated adrenal complex. And you're going to be taking both of those, okay? They have a long write-up on their website about how to take them. Okay, I'm not going to go into it here, but that right there is going to support your adrenals to start to heal and get out of that insufficiency issue or insufficiency syndrome. The cortex, the adrenal cortex, is more so the key component right now, and you're going to wean yourself off of that when you start to get into some jittery energy and such. Okay, when you've been taking them for a while, and your cortex, your adrenal cortex, actually starts to heal. Okay, you're going to get rid of them, and you're not going to have to take them anymore. All right, but what the adrenal cortex specifically helps your body with is the production and the regulation of cortisol. Okay, so right now it's overactive. It's doing too much. It's okay, anything. I just got to put out more cortisol, more cortisol, more cortisol. Okay, that's creating the inflammation. It's creating the wired and tired. It's creating the fatigue during the day, especially at 2 o'clock. Okay, somewhere around there. And I forgot to preface this. I did say something about it, but if you are drinking coffee, got to get off of it. Okay, and one of the things that you can do, which I didn't know it at the time, is you can sparingly start to use nicotine. I would get nicotine gum. I use Lucy. Okay, use the nicotine gum 1 milligram at a time. You don't really want to do any more than that. So if you wake up and you normally have a coffee, chew 1 milligram, take that gum, cut it into 4 pieces, because it's going to be 4 milligrams per piece of gum. Okay, and what this is going to do is help you gather energy in other ways than stimulating your adrenal glands. Okay, nicotine gets energy from a completely different source, or produces energy. It helps by boosting the mitochondria rather than, okay, where if you're drinking coffee, it's stimulating your adrenals to produce more cortisol, and then it is also sheltering the adenosine pathways to convince you you're not tired. All right, so if we're drinking coffee and we're trying to do this stuff, it's kind of canceling itself out, and in all reality, it's going to react in a much more negative way. Okay, it's not going to be positive. It's not going to help you. You got to get rid of coffee, and then you can start utilizing the nicotine gum. Okay, I would start with 1 or 2 milligrams per day. Chew 1 in the morning if you got to wake up and you're really, really tired, and then 1 around noon or 1 o'clock, so you don't get that crash at 2 p.m. Okay, if you start going north of 2 milligrams, I can guarantee you're going to start to have problems sleeping again. All right, and that's not what we want to do. So step 1, let's recap here. Step 1, stop drinking coffee. Okay, step 2, we go to NutriMeds, and we're going to get the adrenal cortex, and we're going to get the desiccated adrenal gland, the whole gland. All right, and we're going to start taking that according to how they recommend on the website. All right, we can also now start to introduce 1 milligram of nicotine at 7, 8 a.m., and then 1 milligram of nicotine at 1 or 2 p.m., even sometimes around noon. If you want to take it, chew it after you have lunch or something like that, it's totally fine. Okay. In the evening time, we need a couple more things as well. Okay. We have to transition our entire home, or if you have an apartment or whatever, into a non-blue light zone. Okay, the blue light is messing with your blood sugar. It's messing with your circadian rhythm and your circadian clock. It's broken in the gut if you have adrenal fatigue, and it's broken in your brain. So if you are up, or if you're just laying on a couch all night because you're dead tired from the day, and you're watching TV or you're scrolling on your phone, the easiest way to keep on doing these things, but to protect yourself, is by getting the red night glasses. Okay, so the orange ones I find do an okay job, but go on Amazon or go on the internet anywhere and just type in nighttime blue light blocking glasses, and the lenses have to be red. Okay, You got to pop those on as soon as the sun goes down. That way you can keep lights on in your home or whatever. Or you could watch TV or you could scroll on your phone if you have to. Okay. If you don't want to get those nighttime glasses, then what I would recommend is turn all the lights off, keep your TV off, and what you could do is light a bunch of candles. Okay, the candle light is going to be yellow and red light, and I believe, and it's going to be very soothing. That's going to help you kind of wind down and get out of that fight or flight stage that your adrenals are still in, and that cortisol, which is coursing through your veins still, is creating the problem about. Okay, so now that we've kind of made our environment conducive to us falling asleep, now we actually have to get to sleep. Okay, and the biggie is going to be GABA. Okay, you gotta get some GABA, once again, from Amazon or whatever. There's I believe they have it on Amazon too, but the GABA that I use has saffron in it, which just does a number of amazing things with GABA. Okay, but we got to pump up our GABA numbers. Everybody goes straight for melatonin. We don't want to introduce normal melatonin or fake melatonin into the body, because then you're going to keep on needing more and more and more and more and more of it. Okay, what I do is I started to use GABA in order to boost my normal production of melatonin. Okay, so I started off taking close to 3 grams of GABA, and I would take that right after dinner, okay, along with a gram of magnesium. Magnesium glycinate will produce another great sedative effect, okay? So you got 2 choices, in my opinion: magnesium threonate or magnesium glycinate, all right? And you're going to want to take about a gram of it, all right? These are high doses. You have absolutely nothing to worry about with like addiction or whatever. In my opinion, everybody should be kind of addicted to magnesium because it's that important of a compound for the human body. Does 300 enzymatic reactions in the entire body, which is just very, very important, okay? There's not enough in our soil, so you're not going to get it from bananas or, green leafy vegetables. You're going to get trace amounts, which is just pitiful for the human body. So even right now, I probably take about 500 milligrams of magnesium every single night. There's also a great product. I'll put a link underneath in the video. I can't remember the name of it, but they have L-theanine, L-theanine, apigenin, and magnesium all in one. Apigenin is fantastic for anti-aging, and if you get COVID, and then L-theanine is phenomenal for just calming the body and reducing the stress response. So that's something good that you could take, but I would, once again, it's a mega dose. They say take 1 before you go to bed. I would probably take 3 or 4 pills before going to bed. And you want to give your body time to ramp down, so you don't. I'm usually in bed by 9 p.m. I'm not going to take it at 9 p.m. I'm going to take it right after dinner. So it's ramping my body down and I'm getting ready to fall asleep, okay? So I'll put the whole prescription below this video, but we're looking at about 1.5 to 3 grams of GABA. We're looking at about 1 gram of or higher of magnesium glycinate or magnesium threonate. Magnesium threonate really helps with the brain. It crosses the blood-brain barrier, and magnesium glycinate helps with regulating blood sugar. So I would also recommend getting a simple, $20 blood sugar reader, okay, blood glucose reader from anywhere you want, Amazon, Target, Walmart, whatever. And I would start checking your blood sugar numbers too, frequently, 2 to 3 times a day, especially fasting, so you can see really what this condition is doing to your body, okay? Anything over 88, we got a problem, all right? People want to say anything over 100 is a problem. Anything over 88 is a problem. If you can't get your blood sugar, your fasting blood sugar, below 88, you probably have more so leptin resistance than you have insulin resistance. But sometimes, you'll be on that cusp. Sometimes you can get below, and it shows that you're not into leptin resistance yet, that you're just insulin resistant. If one day you wake up and it's 106, and then another day you wake up and it's 84, it's like, okay, we're having a problem, but it's not that bad. Okay, if it's consistently over 100, you're well on your way to pre-diabetes, and we got to nip this thing in the bud. We got to knock it out. Okay, and I'm going to show you more and more in the later videos how to control your blood sugar and whatnot, and how to get those things to regulate. Okay, get the body to heal itself, which is what this channel is all about. So GABA, magnesium, okay? And then if we are having a problem falling asleep, if you're laying in bed and you're like super tired, but you can't fall asleep, we need to introduce tryptophan, okay? And tryptophan is going to boost serotonin, which is going to help shut that light off, okay? So you can fall asleep. So those three right there. I think this is a good point to end this video, okay? We're starting to now get those adrenals to heal themselves, okay? And we are also getting ourselves to be able to sleep, and more importantly, getting to sleep early. I don't know who said it, but a great reference just to have in the back of your head: every hour that you fall asleep before midnight is like 2 hours of sleep. Okay, so if you could get into bed at 8 p.m. and fall asleep, even better. You are going to recover that much faster. Okay, so once again, just to kind of put everything together, okay, we are going to take the desiccated adrenal, the desiccated adrenal cortex, all right, exactly how they prescribe on their website, on the NutriMed's website. We are going to prepare our environment for sleep. All right, we're going to get rid of coffee. We may introduce nicotine if you want to. All right, and then we are going to get our GABA, and we are going to get our magnesium, and you can even sprinkle a little bit of L-theanine in there. And we're going to get all nice and snuggly in bed, and we're going to start sleeping for anywhere around, let's say, 8 to 9 hours a night. All right, and you're going to recover a lot faster. So I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video again, and I'll have everything underneath it. A like and subscribe for me, just to push that algo to get it out to other people that may be dealing with this issue. I hope you absolutely love this view. I can't get enough of it, and what I really love is that there is a huge mirror on the side of the wall over here. So even while I'm talking to you guys, I can still look at what you're looking at. Just absolutely love it here. We're so blessed to be able to do what we do, and I'm very thankful and very grateful that you're here listening to me today. Love, light, and aloha for everybody, and I'll see you in the next one.